Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is June 10th, 2020. Just want to say hello to everybody, and I want to discuss the TV show Cops, which was canceled recently after 33 years, 33 seasons. But before we start, if anybody can confirm that the audio is working, I would really appreciate that. And at the end, I'm gonna take some calls in case you guys want to call in. Last Sunday I canceled the show because, as you guys already know, my channel was terminated by YouTube, and I lost all the subscribers that I had. So, not sure if anybody was gonna tune in, but if we can get at least 40 people here, then I'll definitely do the call-in show and get you guys get your voices out there. So, all right, thanks a lot, everybody. So the reality TV show Cops, it ran since 1989, and it says here that it was on air for 33 seasons, and then it was dropped by Paramount Network on June 9th. Cops, the show that shows black people and minorities getting harassed and beat up by the police. And of course, this comes right after the George Floyd killing, right? But let me show you guys why this show is being canceled on the date that it was canceled. This stuff is really, I say this all the time. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and it's like it's always amazing how perfect this stuff is. Man, it's like this stuff is just right on time every single time, with every single ritual, everything that these people do. It's just so perfect. I'm shocked sometimes. But notice, so it was canceled by Paramount Network. Before that, it was on Fox. When I was younger, I remember it to be on Fox every Saturday, right before America's Most Wanted. It would come on, and then I had the song "Bad Boys" playing, right, the theme song. But notice Paramount sums to 119 and 124, just like Fraternal Order of Police. And of course, that number 119 we saw with the George Floyd killing, right? Because George Floyd sums to 119, just like all CNI. And 119 is also the reflection of 911, right? The emergency dialing code for police. But of course, this comes right after the killing of George Floyd, right? So George Floyd, as we found out that he was born on October 14, 1973, and from George Floyd's last birthday to the cancellation of the TV show, it was canceled 239 days after his birthday. And of course, that's the 52nd prime number. Notice Paramount sums to 52. I Can't Breathe sums to 52. And so does Steven Jackson, the twin brother of George Floyd. And remember, George Floyd died on Steven Jackson's 52nd day of his age. Notice Paramount is also 38. And think about how George Floyd was killed on 38th Street. Murder, death, killing, R.I.P. equals 38. But the headline says that it was on air for 33 seasons. 33. Of course, race war, police, masonry, federal, order, secrecy, they all sum to 33. Even the police officer who supposedly killed George Floyd, his surname sums to 33. That is the number, right? 33. If you guys remember, the protests supposedly happened on 33rd Street. George Floyd was killed on 38th Street, and the protests erupted on 33rd Street. Of course, Ronnie King was beat on. If you look up the Ronnie King beating, it says here that it happened on March 3rd, 3-3. And the thing about Trayvon Martin, he was buried on March 3rd, 3-3. They love that number, 33. My channel was deleted on my 33rd birthday by these same people. So 239 days after George Floyd's birthday, they canceled Cops. Oh man. And Notice cops equals 55 and 19. You know, they emphasize cops in the headline, right? Cops. Well, it's because it sums to 55 and 19. And of course, the show was canceled on the day with 55 and 19 in neurology. And I saw that somebody wrote that the TV show Live PD was also canceled. I didn't know about that. Okay, so it was Live PD canceled by A&E amid ongoing protests against police brutality. You know, we could actually do this now and see why this was canceled. Because I'm telling you, it's all related. And why would they have a show called Live PD when you already have a show called Cops? You know, it's the same show with a different name. Yeah, I'll probably do some more research on this. I didn't know about this, but you know, I had no idea that George Floyd death was this big, but this was a massive ritual. You know, all these police brutality stories that we had this year, they were all leading up to the killing of George Floyd. I forget the what the phrase police brutality sums to. Oh yeah, sums to 71 like African American. Okay. Yeah, police is 33 though. So no wonder a show about the police gets canceled after 33 seasons. Notice police also sums to 60 and 102 and 30, just like the N word. And think about the purpose of police is to harass black people. The purpose of police is to harass minorities. It's the truth. Think about your prison system. It's filled with minorities, blacks and Hispanics. We make up the majority of the prison system. Whether people want to admit it or not, it is what it is. That is the reality. So perfect overlap in 3 out of the 4 base sides with the N word and police. But the phone line is now open. If you guys want to call in, the number is 646-986-0958. You know, I don't expect a lot of callers because, again, it's not a lot of people watching. But I always tell people, you know, my channel, it's a possibility that my channel is not going to be here tomorrow. So the best thing to do is just always follow my blog, you know. You know, y'all can come to my channel tomorrow and it be deleted again. You know, usually people get 3 strikes before they get deleted, you know. I didn't even get that. My channel just got deleted. You know, I didn't get a strike, a second strike, or a third strike. You guys know that the type of content that we are talking about here, people don't want this stuff out there. So it's always best to, you know, if you really want to keep up with the channel and follow the content, you have to visit my blog and keep updated because you know, a lot of people call me and say, "Oh, what happened? You haven't posted in a while." Well, I have been posting. I just been posting on my new channel because my old channel was deleted. And I just put out a video on this baseball player who died at the age of 65. Check that video out. We just spoke about the TV show Cops. You know, I'm always working. I'm always decoding. I'm always exposing these sick rituals, you know. This football player, one of my favorite decodes because he was born on 8/6 and he died on 6/7. It doesn't get more picture perfect than that, right? Blood sacrifice, 6/7 and 86. I also put out a video on Bonnie Pointer, the singer. Showed how her death had everything to do with her sister's death, June. You know, she died in the month of June. 59 days after the 14-year anniversary of her sister, and June is 14. That was her sister's name, and her name was Bonnie equals 59. She died 14 years and 59 days after her sister's birthday. And also this, you know, I forgot to cover this, but supposedly the UFC fighter Conor McGregor retired by the numbers. Supposedly this is his 3rd time retiring. He did it on the 159th day of the year, and they emphasized this. Decided to retire from fighting, which comes to 159, just like Ultimate Fighting Championship, which is UFC. So a UFC fighter retiring on the 159th day of the year. Of course, he did it 51 days before Dana White's upcoming birthday. UFC equals 51, like conspiracy. He did it 37 days before his birthday. He did it right after UFC 250, which I decoded on Patreon, and a lot of people made a lot of money on this fight. Really easy. UFC is definitely the easiest sport to decode. Definitely. Also did a video on the Netflix series Dear White People, showing how this was programming for the George Floyd killing and also the Eric Garner killing. So I've been posting. Just you guys visit my blog. Also, I found this picture to be interesting. Right, think about this: Elmer Fudd aiming a shotgun at Daffy Duck. Right? Doesn't that look like police brutality? Looks like programming to me. A black duck, a white man in uniform with a gun. Also, this football player. I did a video on him. Check the video out. But let's get to the call line. So, what's going on, PA? Everything good, man?
Yeah, it sucks. Too bad to hear about your channel, man. I put out a tweet on Twitter too, asked people to sign up, but I mean, who knows if they even let anybody see it? Because I know I get shadow banned on there too. I think we are gonna have to just keep slowly moving. I think there's just an over reliance on tech. You know what I mean? Something that they can control in so many different ways, or even if they just take the grid down, all of it's worthless. So, not that may necessarily happen, but I don't know. It's too controlled.
Well, it is possible that they take out the whole internet.
Yeah, yep.
They're realizing that this is a tool that's not working in their favor,
Yep. Yeah, and so it's hard to say. And I'm sure they have a switch somewhere they could easily just flick, and we're all in the dark. So, which, people are already in the dark anyways, so. But, hey, you remember when I called a few weeks back and I said that there was a restaurant in my town that had opened up despite, the governor's orders and blah, blah, blah. And, I couldn't decide if it was,
Yeah, I remember.
But me, I rechecked my town's gematria, and it all makes sense now. If just my town name is 56, and my town name and with my state included is 121.
Wow.
So
the coronavirus numbers.
Yeah, now I get it. Go figure. And that place just opened up. Had just opened up at the end of last year, conveniently. So,
if I was a lottery player, those would be the numbers I'll be playing. 56, 70.
Right.
All the coronavirus numbers. Those are due up,
Yeah. Or my uncle actually just won on a lotto ticket. He actually won quite a bit of money, and he said that the numbers on his ticket, the last numbers were 666. I'm like, oh, go figure.
Wow,
so, craziness. But hopefully you can get your channel back up there, man.
Yeah, man, 2 years of hard work, man, for over 500 videos.
All down the memory hole, man.
Yeah, man, I should have.
Terrible.
You know what it is? I like to do live streams, so that's why I wasn't able to save any of the videos, because once you do a live stream, it goes straight up. It doesn't save to your computer,
right?
Unless you download it with a separate website.
Yeah, may have to do start looking at other options, and like non-tech options too. Low-tech ways getting out talking to people, I think, is really just the best bet right now. Something they can't, shadow ban us from talking to someone, But that's just my 2 cents, I guess.
And I had a feeling because the George Floyd video that I put out, that was really it. That was really the video that did it. Because usually my videos are under 1,000 views, more or less, right? That video was at 48,000 on June 1st.
Yep.
And I was
Yep.
like,
They don't want that out.
I never had a video reach that many viewers. So I'm like, oh, this is not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame. But
how is it over there in Pennsylvania? How you guys making out?
Where I am, where I am, I live in like a small town, so it's not too bad. I'm about 45 minutes from Erie, and I guess there was some stuff going on up there. Nothing crazy, I guess, but it's not that big of a city. There's some craziness up there, but where I am, it's still calm on the street. It's not a very diverse town either, so. But there's nothing going on here ever, so. It's not too bad. How is it in?
Well, people, a lot of the businesses is opening back up, but a lot of them are not gonna be able to open back up because they lost everything.
Yeah. Well, they already have to deal with this COVID bullshit, and then they rile everybody up, and
it's really a genius plan. Think about it. So everybody was closed because of the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, they start a race war and then destroy the businesses physically.
Yep.
What a way to do it, And they don't even have to dirty their hands.
Yeah, and I see people say, these are the movement. No, there's no hijacking.
You might be covering the mic.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. There's people. Someone was telling me that they're hijacking the movement. But I wouldn't say hijacking when they're the ones behind the events and the movement spawned by them. So no need to hijack anything.
Yep, right about that.
Craziness. But anyway, hopefully get your numbers back up, and people, we can all.
Because we had a good thing. We had a good thing going, man. Every Sunday we have at least 100.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a highlight of my Sundays too. It was good, hearing the calls and
Appreciate that. Yeah, man.
But hopefully we'll get it. We'll be back on track at some point soon enough. Who knows? If you're still up tomorrow, man, it's nuts.
And no, I'm not gonna go away. So even if the channel gets deleted again and again and again, I'll be making it again and again and again.
Right. Yeah.
I just want people to know where to find me. Because there's other ways to find the channel. I'm always gonna have a channel up.
Yeah.
Channel. I mean, Zach's on what 19, 20 channels. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you have yourself a good night.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you so much.
All right, man. Have a good night. Later.
All right, you too. Yeah, this stuff is frustrating, but we're not gonna give up, and absolutely not. But yeah, man, sometimes I regret making that George Floyd video because it took away from the 2 years of work, But and I don't even think it made a difference. Those 48,000 views didn't really make a difference because the majority of them were trolls, people who was trying to discredit the work. Yes, hello.
Hey there. So did you have time to look into the LBRY.TV thing?
Oh, no. Because I started decoding the baseball player who died recently.
Okay. So basically, no matter whether you post on YouTube or you post on any of the other formats, if you belong to the LBRY.TV, then it will automatically upload anything that you put on the internet in any place, and it will save it for you. So that way your past stuff is never lost. So you'll always have people to be able to go back and find it, and it doesn't matter if you switch from YouTube to Twitch to DLive or whatever you use. So that was one thing. I saw a funny thing where a man, and I'm not sure if it was in New York City or not, was defending his store, and he had an electric chainsaw, and one of the protesters was going by and got scared by it, and here she is saying, defund the police, but then she turns around and says, call 911, someone call 911, and I just thought it was so hilarious. Here you are saying you don't want police, but then the minute you feel threatened, you want the police. So it's just so funny to see these people not really think about what their actions could bring. And I was listening to another show where it was on the news, they said they had 65,000 police calls in one day in Chicago. And I just think, what would we do if we didn't have the police? Who's going to come when the father's beating on the child, or the mother's getting raped, or someone's breaking into your grandmother's home? I just find it absolutely ridiculous for people to think that we don't need police. We don't need bad cops, and that's what we have to do, is we have to end violence. We have to get rid of these deadly tactics, but I don't think it's really a good thing to want to end the police. I was just wondering if other people want to end the police too, or if I'm in a minority.
Well, you want to know my opinion?
Yes.
It depends, because big cities, I think they do need law enforcement, but small neighborhoods and small communities, I don't really think they need police. I think that you can pretty much police your own neighborhood, because that's what they do in other countries. Like, for example, the Dominican Republic, they police their own neighborhoods. There's not a lot of police like how there is here. So they'll be.
Who would I call if someone's breaking into my house in the middle of the night?
Well, they don't. They don't call anybody. Everybody's armed. So anybody that breaks into your home is risking their life. So that's why a lot of people don't do it. Because if I break into your home, I'm risking the fact that you might be awake and you might shoot me. People don't have that fear in this city, because of nobody's allowed to have a weapon in big cities. So if I break it into your home, I know that you don't have a gun in your home. But there's places where everybody's armed. Those people, they defend their own. And I think that's how it should be. But I don't think it'll work out in big cities like New York City and LA, Miami. Those type of cities, I think they do need law enforcement, because there's just too much people. But small communities, I think you can police yourself.
The problem is, though, there's a lot of people who are handicapped, or who have done something that they really, maybe they're mentally impaired, that they shouldn't have a weapon. And I am for that, some people just don't have the wherewithal that they should be wielding a weapon, and so it seems like somebody needs to protect them. And not every grandma in their home is going to have a weapon or know how to use it properly. So that's where my concern comes in, because even in a small town, you could have someone who is raging on meth or something, or heroin, and they just are breaking in to get money. And I feel like I shouldn't have to use a gun and kill another person. I should be able to call someone that is more, trained to deal with that type of thing.
You're right, but this is the thing. There's a lot of elder people that live in these small communities in these third world countries, and they always have somebody around. They're never alone. I understand what you mean. A lot of older people don't have that younger person that's around. But
well, I think of the lady who's being beaten by her husband, and then some night he sneaks into her daughter's room and he's taking advantage of the child. Like, she's not going to go and try and shoot her husband, I don't think. I think that there are just always situations where you need to call somebody else to step in, and it's not going to be a guidance counselor. It needs to be someone of authority to protect us.
Right.
The other thing
The
I
thing
was
is, the police is so problematic. I don't really know if you can trust the police. Because, think about how much innocent people. Think about this, right? So let's say, a crime is, let's say there's a homicide and the police cannot find who actually did it. There's a lot of times where the police will grab anybody just to solve that case because they're being pressured by the district attorney. That has happened. I know a lot of people who are innocent and they are in prison serving long sentences and they have done nothing wrong. And those people sometimes they don't want to confess or tell the police who really did it because of the snitching code. They
right,
fear that they might get killed outside if they tell.
right. But if we also did never have a police witness protection program, then nobody would ever be able to come forward and testify in a court of law as to what they saw and were witness to if they had to be afraid without any protection. I am against bad cops, but I also don't believe that getting rid of them. I mean, I live in a town where I lived here for 33 years, and not once has there been any police brutality or complaints against the police. So I don't think that there's always bad cops everywhere. It's just that there are some bad cops, and especially in the places where they are prone to have to deal with violence on a daily basis. It's understandable. I mean, the other thing that I notice is just the generation, the way we don't respect cops anymore. Because if I was at, 33 years, yeah, I don't know, it might be 34 years, I just threw that out there. I did see that the young kids today, they don't listen to the cops, they stand up, they don't follow directions. And that's something that even 40, 50 years ago, if a cop said, get down on your knees, you would get down on your knees. You don't wait and let them tell you 40 times until they have to take the billy club or the nightstick to your knees or to use the more dangerous, weapons to get you to comply. So I also see that it's also a generational thing that people don't learn. They have hate and they don't think the police are there to protect them and they go to the police. So I also think that brings on more violence because, they get beaten by the police when they don't comply. So I also think that a loss of respect is partially possible for that.
But I mean, okay, so let me ask you this: what good does the police do? I mean, do they do anything positive for the community? Because usually when something happens, they'll usually take 30 minutes to even arrive. They never did to stop a crime from happening. They always come after the fact.
That might be true in your area. In my area, if I call the police, they're here within 3, 4, 5 minutes top.
Well,
And I actually call probably 3, 4 times a year. If I see a car in my neighborhood prowling at 3 in the morning and they're checking everything out and I know it's spring break and a lot of my neighbors are away, or one time I had to take care of my neighbor's house and all of a sudden there was a light on in the middle of the night in one of their rooms. The cops went in and checked it out for me. So, if I see a trash can even in the middle of the road that's going to cause an accident and it blew there because I call the cops and they go and they move it. And it would be dangerous for me to step on the street and get out of my car and go into the middle of the road and move that trash can. I don't want to put my life in jeopardy. So I think it depends on where you live. I see more of the problems with the cops in the cities where they're not getting the respect. They don't have people complying with them. They have people saying "fuck you" right to their face.
but think about this: do you think people disrespect firefighters, doctors? There's a reason they earned. Think about the TV, like the TV show that we were just talking about, Cops. I mean, what is that show really showing? It's not showing the police helping anybody. It's just showing people getting harassed, people getting beat up. Black people doing drugs, running away from the police. It's not that show. It ran for 33 seasons, and it doesn't show anything positive. You don't really see a cop saving anybody's life or preventing a crime from happening. The only thing you see in that show is pretty much police brutality.
That's because they what. That's why the show's on. That's what they want the young people to see. Think about that.
And that's what they
It's
want the
programming.
officers to see. They want the officers to feel like that's the way that they're supposed to behave.
I agree, but that doesn't mean that we don't need cops. It just means we have to retrain them, and they have to be here to help us, to protect and to serve us, not to beat us up.
Yes, you're right. But they don't want that. They don't want good cops. Really, they don't want good cops. They want to have control, and the only way you control people is by intimidating them. It just is what it is, you know. Just that's the way they want it.
So, like the 65,000 calls in Chicago, and yet still 40 people died. Think of if there wasn't cops and 65,000 people couldn't call the cops to interfere. Think of how many people might have actually have died.
Yeah, but if everybody has a weapon in their own home, well, I don't know, because you know Chicago's a big city. You know, Chicago will be one of those cities where I think you do need a law enforcement. But I'm talking about cities like, you know, like the person that called before you, Pennsylvania. You know, that's a small community. Probably there's only 3,000 to 4,000 people that live in this community. You don't really need police in those type of neighborhoods. You know, even Minnesota. How much people are there in Minnesota? Minnesota doesn't need a police department. I mean,
Are
Chicago.
you kidding me, man? You should be looking at the things I'm looking at. Grant and I have been pulling up all of these people that are involved in the Minneapolis and St. Paul area. And friggin' their rap sheets are like 20 long. I mean, they have so many violations, it's not even funny. They obviously don't respect the laws. They drive without licenses, they drive without insurance, they passport checks, they bounce things, they steal. I mean, obviously that environment does need police.
So what do you recommend? Because the I don't really think it's the police is the problem. I think that it's the people above the police.
Well, I agree that most of the people in the court system and the prosecutors and the lawyers are all controlled people, and there's a huge systemic problem there. I just don't think that doing away with the police is an answer. And I think that if we really wanted to help blacks, we would help their education system. I mean, I'm looking at these Facebook pages, and they're just saying nigga this, nigga that, and yo man, and hey what's up, and bro, and like they don't even have complete sentences. They don't even have complete thoughts. They're just really lost. Every other word is you know what I mean. It's like, well no, explain yourself, or they don't even have the proper speech anymore to make intelligent sentences. It feels like I feel like we are purposely doing them a disservice. Even rap music is doing
Well,
a
that's part of it.
disservice.
That's part of it too, because they gave out this culture. They made people believe that this is part of their culture. You know, violence and drugs and this gangster life. They made young people of color think that that's their culture. And people growing
And
up, they're
yet,
listening to these celebrities who they're worshiping and doing and imitating what they listen to. That's also part of the problem. But you gotta understand who's behind these record labels, who's behind the police department. The same people that we are exposing in these videos. So that's
I'm not validating them. I'm not saying that they're not bad people.
okay. So this is what I think, right? So if I have like I say a small neighborhood like Minnesota, I think that the town.
That's not small. That's huge. Minneapolis, Twin Cities is huge.
Okay, so then so name a smaller city.
Well, my town has 40,000, and we have crime, but the crime is handled by the police, so we don't really have any systemic problems. Like maybe one or two people a year are killed in my whole county.
I don't know, cause I don't really think. I think people can manage without the police. Really, I really honestly believe that. Because what about okay? So what if police didn't exist?
Well,
Was
then why
there was
would we
there
not
ever a
have
time in
shooting
history
every
where
single day if police didn't exist?
was there ever a time in history where police didn't exist?
I don't know.
There had to be a time. I mean, I don't think police was around for all the time. And people
Well, not
survived.
back with the Pilgrims, but they still had like a pokey where they could lock people up. They've had town constables or something like that. Because they even locked people up back in Prohibition. So, yeah, not in the 1600s, but definitely by the 1800s we had police of some sort. I mean, really, if you think about it, 25, 30 years ago, we did not have this problem. We grew up being colorblind. I mean, I would marry a black person. I would marry an Indian person. I wouldn't care what color their skin is. I have, no problem with interracial marriages or anything. And it seems like it all just got pushed back, and now it's all this racial divide. And I don't really think that existed 20, 25 years ago for the most part. I feel like it's the media, the TV shows.
Yes, and then you gotta realize who's behind the TV and the media. It's these same
Right.
people.
They're promoting the racism. I agree. I don't think it's systemic within nature of people. I think they're
Yes, I
festering
agree.
it,
I agree.
pushing it.
Yep, I agree. I agree. It's that, but that's who the problem is. So, are you? I don't know if you want to get rid of the police, but we got to get rid of the people who control the police. If we're gonna have a police department, it should be people from their own neighborhoods. It shouldn't be people like, for example, the police department around my neighborhood. None of those people that work in this police department live anywhere near my neighborhood. If we have police, if we have people police their own neighborhoods, this is what I mean. If people from their own neighborhoods police their own neighborhoods, people will be more courteous to each other because these people live in these neighborhoods. But once you get people that don't care about the community, they don't live here, they don't care about the people, then that's why you get so much corruption. And so many people act so violent against each other. Because when I go home, you're not gonna see me, and I'm not gonna see you. I probably live 3 miles away from you. So I think should we keep police? Yes, but it depends who. Who we gonna have police in these areas? We should have
I would
people
totally agree with that.
You have people from your own neighborhoods police your own neighborhoods. That is definitely the answer.
Yep, I would totally agree with that.
Yeah, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen though. To be realistic.
So I saw someone in the chat say colorblind, and I don't know why that would be like a question mark. That's what every person should be judged by their actions. Everyone should be judged by the deeds that they do, the things that they say, the life that they live. And you should be colorblind. You should treat everybody equal and not categorize them by skin color or religion. I think that all doesn't matter. That's why it really pisses me off when the Jesus freaks get mad at Zach because he doesn't believe in Jesus. Well, then they throw out and say he's a shill. So I don't think that, I think that anybody of any religion should be able to follow Zach and not discredit someone because of their religious beliefs. So I just feel like they're pushing the religious divide and the skin color divide, and that most of us really aren't racist down deep, that the media is creating this because they want to control the voting.
Okay. Yeah, but to answer your question, I think that if people were to police their own neighborhoods, that would definitely solve a lot of these police brutality cases.
All right, well, that's my 2 cents, and I just want to let everybody know I don't really live in a bubble, and I am not a Karen. I am just trying to be someone that is logical about where we would be if we didn't have any cops, and I don't think that's going to be a good place.
But how you feel about the idea that people should police their own communities?
I love that. And that's how it is in my town. I mean, everybody lives in this community that is a policeman. I mean, and they go to the kids' schools, they go to the events in the town, and, you just know each other. And I think it also builds respect in community. I mean, this is the place where just like 2 hours from here is where the police chief marched with the people who wanted to have the protest. He got right in the middle and he marched with them. And I thought, and there was no violence, there was no looting. Instead, it was just a peaceful protest. And he talked with the people about how they could do changes. And I do think that that's where the answer has to lie. And we just have to get rid of bad cops. We have to get rid of them. We can't just put them on paid leave and let it all blow over and then let them back on the force. That's definitely wrong. But anyway, I said enough. I will let you go and definitely look into LBRY.
All right, no problem. Thanks a lot, Kelly.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Man, so somebody asked me about this Jay-Z song, and now that I'm decoding it, the Jay-Z song 99 Problems, there's a lot here. There's a lot to this, man. I just want to get the blog post ready for you guys so I can show you everything that I've noticed. And there's probably a lot more. I was just doing this while I was on the phone, so. But yeah, there's a lot here, man. This is crazy. So and then if you read the lyrics to that song, he's basically talking about being stopped by the police, how he knows his rights. So shout out to the person that asked me about this, man. This was a great find right here. Yep, this is definitely a great find. But if you guys want to call in, the number is on the screen. 646-986-0958. I just want to get this ready for you guys so I can speak about it. As for to answer Kathy's question again, I really think that these police officers that are walking around, none of these people live in our neighborhoods. None of them. The majority of them. If you had to go home to the same neighborhoods that you just finished terrorizing, you'll be a lot nicer to the people that live there. All these police officers live in other states. As sick as that sounds. So Mr. Jay-Z, huh? George Floyd died 193 days before Jay-Z's birthday, the 44th prime. Unbelievable. 44 again. And then George Floyd gets killed by the 44-year-old police officer. MLK died on 4/4. Malcolm X died on the day with 44 numerology. Of course, the word kill sums to 44, right? Kill and execution. Tom Hagen, the assassin. Got 44 years in prison. Marvin Gaye died at 44. Okay, I think that should be. Yeah, this stuff is really easy. I mean, this is why I keep telling you guys that if you learn this, I mean, it literally took me like 10 minutes, more or less. Okay, so here it is. So the Jay-Z song And let me just look up the lyrics as well. I know there's a part where he's okay. Okay, let's see. Unbelievable. Okay, so Jay Z's song 99 Problems, 99 Problems came out on April 27, 2004. Of course, the word racism sums to 99. The United States of America sums to 99. Eric Garner was killed by the police officer with the T-shirt number 99. His surname Garner sums to 99. Think about how George Floyd was killed in front of Cup Foods. Cup Foods equals 99. And the gas prices, well, the gas station in the back was displaying the number 99. Supposedly that was the coffee price. 99, right? And the song came out on April 27th. From that day to the killing of George Floyd, it was a span of 839 weeks, and that's the 146 prime number. And George Floyd was killed on the 146th day of the year. Remember, they was comparing it to Colin Kaepernick with some sort of 146. And then this all happened 193 days before December 4th, Jay-Z's birthday, the 44th prime number. George Floyd killed by a 44-year-old police officer. African American is 44. Of course, that's the number that we always talk about when it comes to Black history because MLK died on April 4th, 44. Malcolm X died on the day with 44 numerology. The person that killed Malcolm X, his name was Tom Hagen. His name sounds with 44. He got 44 years in prison. And then just think about how Marvin Gaye died a day before his birthday at the age of 44. Kill, execution, all 44. Yep. And after the show, I'm going to look at this even further because there's probably a lot more here. So when Jay-Z says that he has 99 problems, this is a tribute to George Floyd. Because notice the second verse, he says, the year's 94 and my trunk is raw. In the rearview mirror is the mother effing law. Got two choices, y'all. Pull over the car or bounce on the devil, put the pedal to the floor. I ain't trying to see no highway chase with Jake, plus I got a few dollars, I can fight the case. So I pull over to the side of the road. I heard, son, do you know why I'm stopping you for? Because I'm young and I'm black and my hat's real low. Do I look like a mind reader, sir? I don't know. Am I under arrest or should I get some more? Well, you was doing 55 in the 54. And then you guys know the rest. So the entire song is about having a contact with the police. And he says that he knows his rights. He has some money. Pretty much giving people advice, how to deal with the police. But this is all predictive programming for the George Floyd. I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds? This come out 839 weeks before George Floyd's death. The 146 prime number. And then George Floyd dies on the 146th day of the year. And notice how Jay-Z was 46. George Floyd died at the age of 46. Chaos is 46. Sacrifice is 46. Yep. So I appreciate the person that asked me to look into this because this is a gem. Absolutely. So being that nobody else wants to call in, I think we can end it there. I'll definitely make a separate video for this blog post here because I just did it real quick. There's probably a lot more to this. But thank you everybody for joining us. Yeah, thank you, Jason Lamb. I really appreciate that. But thank you everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. and I'll put that video out within 30 minutes. So thank you, everybody. You have a great rest of your night. Appreciate you.